Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. This is another sit down video. Today is Sunday, June 23rd, and today I am going to show you guys and give you like an explanation of how I break down my bi-monthly paychecks. And bi-monthly means that I get paid twice a month from my job. And so one of my subscribers asked about that, and so I definitely want to be able to show that, right? But if this is the first video you've watched of mine, just a little introduction. My name is Joy. I am 48 years old. I'm single by way of divorce, and I work as a sign language interpreter in an educational setting. And this year, it's been, I say this year, but it's been that way for the past, this will be my fourth year working in a high school setting. In the summers, I work as a para in second and third grade, so that has been great. This week coming up will be my final week of summer school, and so I will miss those kids. It's been a while. Let me straighten you guys out. It hasn't been a while. It's been a slice. It's been a lot going on, but anyhow, my salary as a sign language interpreter, because I work for a cooperative, a special education cooperative, my salary is $37,756 for the 23-24 school year, and that extends through the summer. And so my I should get a new pay letter by right before school starts again. And so whatever because they always give us like a cost of living bump every year, and so that new salary letter should come out at some time before we go back. And I think we go back, our first official day back for staff is August 5th, I believe, and that's when we start like orientation. And so yeah, so it should change in August. We'll see. But I have my notes here, so some of you might not know I use notes so that I can kind of stay on track. So these videos will probably be a little bit shorter because I put so much information in my vlogs. So if you want to see like my day-to-day, like a detailed life, like what I do every day or whatever, you can see that in the vlogs that I post. And my vlogs come out on Wednesday, like Wednesday evenings at 5 p.m. Central Time, I believe. Is when they go live. So right now, like, I've finished vlogging for last week, and so I will use probably today and tomorrow to not edit, but like put the clips together or whatever, and then make my thumbnail and have it ready to go on Wednesday. So that comes up Wednesday at 5. And so like I said, I don't know if I said, but I'm working through Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover, and it has 7 baby steps. I finished baby step number 1, which was to save $1,000, and I think that took me about 8 weeks. And now I'm on baby step number 2, and I am paying down debt. And so my debt started, I should have written down what it started at. I don't remember what it started at, but last week it was like 16,000 and something. I do not remember. I don't remember, but it was 16,000 and something. And right now, this number that I'm showing is not even. So let me change what I'm saying, because there's a couple things going on, right? So let me get to these debts a little bit. So one of the things I wanted to say is my goal is to be debt-free by next summer, which is 2025. And also another goal of mine is to be financially independent and retire early, which is called a FIRE movement. And so for me, retiring early would be at the age of 55. I think currently, like, if I just stay in the workforce as it is, I think I should retire at 67, and I'm not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not working until we're 67. I don't even know who thought that was like a thing. Now my hair is all crazy. I don't know who thought that was a thing, thinking that people want to work until they're 67. And then it's like, by then, and I'm not confessing that I'm going to be like old and like can't move around and all that stuff like that. I'm not confessing that. But certainly things change in your body at 67 or whatever. I'm going to work out and be as fit as I can by the time I'm 67, but I don't want to still be getting up and working and clocking in and all that at 67 years old. If anything, I would rather, like, if I'm going to be working, it'll be working for myself. So my goal is to retire at 55, which is in roughly 7 years. And so, so I do need to get on it, and not only just pay down debt, but also figure out how to make additional income, right? Because not only do I want to retire, but I want to retire and live well. Because even if I retire like from my 9-to-5 job at 55, it doesn't mean that I can draw Social Security or anything like that. So I am going to need money to live on, and so that's my plan. That's my plan. I'm kicking around the idea of real estate investment. I would love to. I'm thinking for like a first property, because by the time I get to baby steps number 5 and 6 are pay off your mortgage. I think it's baby step number 6, and baby step number 5 is, I think, save for your kids' education. Well, I don't have children, and so there's no education to save for, and I don't have a mortgage. I pay rent, and so I don't have a mortgage to pay off. And so I was asking this gentleman who runs the Financial Peace University at our church, I was asking him about those steps, because I'm like, well, when I get there, because I want to start thinking now about what I'm going to do once I get there. And so, so that I can just kind of kind of be in the back of my mind before I get there, and I'm not trying to figure it out then. But he was like, for the mortgage part, he was like, when you get to the education part, you can just combine those two together because you don't have kids. So it's like you can just start throwing money in savings. Because I think the step before that is to do I don't know. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. Don't quote me or whatever. But once I get to steps 4, 5, and 6, I can start saving towards a mortgage. So instead of paying off my house, like paying off my mortgage, I can start saving towards a mortgage. So I would love to, especially if I'm still single by then, I would love to buy a duplex, like buy both units and then live in one and rent the other one out. I would absolutely love to do that. And then if I get married after that, then I can rent out the one that I'm living in, and we can move in together, or he can move in there, or whatever the case may be. But I do want to have a rental property where I'm like earning money. That's earning money for me. So let's get into it. So one of the things I wanted to tell you is like the week of June 17th, like what did I pay off this past week? Because as most of you know, or a lot of you know, that I get paid, I'm a 10-month employee. As an educator, we're a 10-month employee, but they spread our checks out over 12 months. But in the summertime, my last official paycheck, not official, but my last paycheck during the school year was the end of May, like May 31st or whatever. But then starting June 15th, we got 5 paychecks in a row. So they paid out all of our summer pay like all at once. And so I got all those checks in a row. And so we are going to look at how I'm budgeting that out so that I'm not overspending, so like my next paycheck for the school year won't come. So now that I've gotten those 5 checks, all that's in the bank, so my next paycheck won't come until August 31st or whatever the last day in August is, because I get paid twice a month. And so people have been asking me about how I am living so that I'm not overspending. Okay, and so the week of June 17th, which was this past week, I was able to make a car payment, which was $355. I finally paid those back IRS taxes, y'all. And it was $310.03. I paid it. If there are penalties, I haven't heard about it. And I just paid it online. And I like paying things online because you get like a receipt saying that you paid them something. You know, you get an email back saying that you pay, because I feel like if I pay things, like if I mail it in for like the IRS, I feel like I have no idea of if they got it, because I don't use like checks, like I don't have a checkbook. And I know like growing up, that's what my parents used and stuff, but I don't have a checkbook to like be able to get like a hold on. I don't have a checkbook to be able to get like a return check or a canceled or a, I don't know what they call it once the check has been deposited and paid or whatever. I don't know what that's called, but I won't know that, right? So like even if I did a money order or whatever, I didn't want to do that, so I did pay online. But because I pay online, I did it like as a guest pay. I didn't, and they used my social security number and all that. So I just had to tell them what I was paying. And so I used the invoice that they sent me, and I just paid what was on the invoice from 2022 or 23. I don't even know when the invoice is from, but it was $310.03. I think it was from 2023. And so I just paid that. And so if it's wrong or if I owe, I trust that they'll contact me and say, hey, you know, you owe us such and such in penalties. Okay, sorry. I got cut off. But yeah, so I did that. And so also I remember telling you guys before that this year I'm going to owe a bunch of taxes, right? So I budgeted $3,600. I don't know if that's accurate or not. I just wanted to give myself a number. Hopefully I won't be shocked. It would be lovely to come under that, but I really doubt that it'll come under that, because when I work for my high school and I get those checks, they don't, I work for my high school doing extracurricular work, and they send me a check, like a lump sum check at the end of the season, and they don't take taxes out. So I'm definitely gonna owe, I won't owe less. I don't think I'll owe less than that, because even last year my taxes came to like over $3,000, but because I was getting a refund, they just took it out. That's a whole nother story, you guys. Like, because I was getting a refund, because I think one year I didn't file taxes. I don't know if it was like, it must have been 2021 that I didn't file taxes. I didn't file until 2022 or something like that. But I was like a I don't know, I was still getting like a student. No, maybe it was before that. I think I didn't file. I think I didn't file in 2020 and 2021. Sorry, I keep getting cut off, you guys. Sorry. And so when I did file, because I was a student in 2020, I would get like a student tax, or like a tax credit. I would get a tax credit because I was a college student. And so I never felt the effects of all these taxes, because I was always like getting this credit. So it wasn't until last year when my accountant, he was like, what are you claiming like as a withholding or whatever? And I said 1, and he's like, you should be claiming 0. And he was like, because this way they'll take more taxes out so that you can get a refund, or at the least not owe money, right? And so I was procrastinating on that. I had procrastinated, but I did last week finally fill out and resubmit my W-4. It was a W-4 form with 0 withholdings, right? And so the lady who does our finances, whatever, she said it'll go into effect for my summer pay, which is fine because we already know what we're getting paid for summer or whatever. But like, I am kind of nervous about what my paychecks are going to be come the new school year. So even though we get a bump in pay, they're going to be taking more taxes out. So I pray that I won't be living on less than I am now. So right now, my bi-monthly paychecks are $1,000. I bring home $1,180 and some change. So hopefully my checks won't end up being less than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like I'm already like, really trying to work at, I don't know, just having enough to pay bills, right? And I'm paying bills. Like, it really did make a difference once I finally made a budget. Like I started following Dave Ramsey, the Total Money Makeover, and I did make a budget. So it is like, it is helping me see that I do have money left over. Like, I'm not penny pinching as much as I as I thought I needed to, but it was because I was spending money and not knowing where it was going. I was just like, you know, going through the drive-through or whatever. Like I was just not tracking where my money was going. So I always felt like I never had enough, when in actuality, if I have a budget and I follow it, I actually do have money left over. So yeah, so I don't know what that's going to look like once that goes into effect. Um, and then I am going to get my taxes done on July 10th. So I do have a day to get my taxes done. So so we shall see. Like I pray that it's less than $4,000. I even thought about taking a class this year, like taking a couple classes this year, just so I can get like a student credit. But we'll see. We're gonna grow up and we're gonna be an adult and we're gonna do the right things with our finances and our W-4 forms and just see how it works out. So, is there like, I don't know, maybe you guys know, but like, I'm sure it'll vary a little bit because like I have a retirement fund at work, like we have a retirement fund, but then you have like the state taxes, the federal taxes, like all that comes out. Is that a percentage or like what? Like, do you know that it's a certain percentage of your paycheck? Because then I feel like the pay you get before they take taxes out, like how, like is it a percentage? Like if you guys know that, let me know, because then I feel like I can kind of figure out what my check might be ahead of time so that I'm not like shocked if it's lower or something like that. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. It'll be August 31st. That'll be my first. Well, I don't know what day. It'll be that week. That week of August 31st. But yeah, I'll be excited to see what it is, and I'll be excited to let you guys know what it is. And so, okay. So what happened? So I got my 5 paychecks, right? I got my 5 paychecks in a row. And so for each paycheck, and I'm going to show you what this looks like in a minute. But for each paycheck, so I budget by paycheck. I don't budget monthly. I budget by paycheck. And I just made a column. And so for each day, I knew the dates that we were getting those 5 paychecks, right? And so I had everything listed. And so I got all the checks, and when I got that first check, I think whatever it was, so I pay my rent and my car note on opposite checks or whatever. They don't come out of the same check. So it's like I got it, I paid my rent, car insurance, whatever it is. The second check I got, I looked at it and I just did it that day. I boom, 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 whatever I could pay, I paid, and I did it with all 5 checks. Now, there are things that I can't pay early. Like I have a Planet Fitness membership, and that's $10 a month. So that's just going to come out when it comes out. I have my groceries, I have my gas, like things like that. The plan is to just take that money out on that paycheck day instead of trying to take it all out at the same time and then think I'm going to be able to manage it all the way through the end of August, right? So right now, once I got done paying everything ahead of time that I could pay ahead of time, like my rent, my car insurance, my car payment, I feel like what else did I have? I'll have to look at it. But once I pay those things, so right now I have $1,999 left, right? So I'm like, cool. So in my head, I'm thinking I'm going to take that $1,999 and whatever's left, let me start deducting it to kind of see how much money I have left over. So I did that. So I took the $1,999. I see Planet Fitness, take that out. I have like a video merger, and that's what I use for YouTube. That's $3. Take that out. Groceries, take that out. Gas, take that out. And I did that, deducted all of it, and it says I have $632 left over. And everything that I've paid has cleared my account. So it's not like I'm waiting for something to clear. Everything has cleared. And I'm like, how do I have $632 left? And I did work football camp, and that was an extra $300 plus, right? But it's not 600. Like, where did the other like 300 come from? And I recalculated it, and I'm just like, and so I recalculated it again, and I got 542. So I don't know why I have a surplus. And what number did I use? Like, why? Oh, because the second time I calculated it, I just added up what I took home in those 5 paychecks. So I went to my statements, because we have like this portal where all our paychecks are in that portal. So I took the last 5, I added that number together, and then just went through and deducted everything. And that left me with $542. So I don't know why. Like, I don't know why. And I'm not gonna, in my head, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I can go spend it. I am not doing that, because that has not served me in the past. Seeing money and then spending it. I'm not gonna do that. I feel like I must have had money left over from before. But 500, like, I don't know. I don't know what happened. So I'm gonna leave it because I don't know what that is. I am gonna go today and get grocery money out. Technically, I should be taking that money out at the end of this week, but I'm gonna just go ahead and take the grocery money out now and the gas money out now. Like, it's just a week before. I know that's probably cheating, but that's what I'm gonna do. That's just what I'm gonna do because I just have the time today. I'm just gonna do it today, because next week is just a busy week, and I don't feel like I'm gonna want to be stopping at the, ATM and all this stuff. So I don't know. I don't know why I have that surplus. I could see having an extra 100 or 120 or something like that. I'm gonna have to recalculate. I'm gonna have to do it again. But everything has cleared, like the car payments. I made sure the car payments cleared. Yeah. And I made sure when I pay my brother rent, because I just transfer money to him, it comes out right away, so I don't have to wait for it to clear. Like, even if he doesn't claim it yet, it just comes out, and he just takes it whenever he takes it. But I know my car payments, I would have to wait for those to clear, and they've all cleared. My car insurance cleared, because those were only 2 payments. I don't even, because that paid off my insurance through I don't know when, so I'll just have to see. I think I don't pay again until August or whatever, but like they'll send me like a renewal or something like that. So anyway, I don't know. Because I think the only extra, yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I did, yeah, because my paychecks, there was only one paycheck that reflected extra pay, and that was the football paycheck. That was the one I got with the football, and that doesn't even include like my extracurricular activities check, because that should be at least $1,000. And then my summer school pay should be $2,000. I'm not sure. I don't know. I have to go look. Actually, I can tell you right now what it'll be, if you guys want to know. I think I can find it now. Hold on, hold your horses. I can get to it quickly. I'll be there in just a minute. What does it say? Extended school year 2024. All right, so my summer school pay will be $2,377.50 before taxes. And guys, that's just working for 15 days. That is just for 15 days. And 3 of those days I didn't even work. Yeah, 3 of those days I didn't even work. So that's $23.77 and 50 cents before tax. Okay. So, and just so you guys know, like why I'm so like, because I've never had extra money. Ever. I've never had extra money. And if I did have it, it wasn't like to this extent to where it's like, okay, like I can do some things, you know? And so I plan on paying off. I'll wait till I get those checks to kind of let you guys know what I'm going to be paying off, because I want to go ahead and get to some subscriber questions. I have 2 questions today. Let me see. One of the questions, the first question says, ooh, this is a good one. This is a good one. I've been wanting to answer this one. It says, hey, I'm enjoying your journey. Just a thought. Have you ever considered doing interpreting in the medical field? They make so much money, and even if the patient is a no-show, they still get paid for that visit. I know that you love the children. Sometimes change is good. I started my journey in July 2023. It's been so fun. I'm looking to increase my income as well to finish paying debt. That is a great question. I get that question often about interpreting in different fields. So here in Illinois, we are a licensure state as far as interpreting is concerned, which means that here in Illinois, you have to have a license to interpret certain things. And here in Illinois, we have 3 license levels. We have an intermediate, we have an advanced, and we have a master level. I have what's called so what I did was after I finished my interpreter training program, it was COVID. And so everything was shut down. Everything was shut down. The test that you take to work as a state licensed interpreter, that building was closed. And that's the only place you can take it in this state. That test has a, I don't know what it's called, but it's only licensed to that building, right? And that building was closed for like 2 years. So after graduation, I took a test called the EIPA, and it's Evaluation of Interpreters. I don't know. Don't even quote me on what that means. Educator, interpreter, something. It's an evaluation for interpreters to be able to work in a K-12 setting. So that is the test that I took. I took that test in Illinois. The minimum score is 3.5. I took it twice. The first time I got a 3.3. The second time I took it, I got a 4.0. So I was able to work in a K-12 setting. That is all. Illinois is so strict with licensure laws. Now, there are states that do not have interpreter licensure laws. And that means that interpreters and deaf people are walking around unprotected. That means because, especially when you are an interpreter in a medical field, like you can do, it's almost like the medical field. You can do no harm. Like don't accept assignments that you are not qualified to take, right? And so here in Illinois, I have not taken this first test yet, right? And that is this basic/intermediate test. I was scheduled to take it June 11th, but I postponed it. So hopefully, I think I'll probably won't even get a date until next year sometime. So I have to take this test. This test only allows me, and I can tell you what it allows, because here it is. So licensure proficiency. So we call it yellow, green, and silver. So yellow license is the first state license you can take. Now, mind you, the test I took, I only have the approval, I'll call it license here for sake of, understanding, but licensure to work in a K-12 setting. So most things, and that's only most things in K-12 setting, I can interpret for the children, no matter what they're doing on a field trip, whatever. If a child gets injured and I'm the interpreter for that kid and we have to go to the nurse and they have to call the ambulance, I have to back out of that job and they have to have a yellow license come in. Okay, same with police. If one of our kids get in trouble with the police, and like the outside police have to come, not the school resource officer, but if the outside police have to come, like the local police, that is technically a green license. Technically. So they have to hold off questioning until somebody with this license level shows up. And in our cooperative, we only have one person with that license level. And so we have to bring her from whatever site she's working at that day, and that's where she would have to come in. So for a yellow license, what I can do is vocational rehabilitation, which is job coaching, employment training, or workshops, like if somebody is getting a job at FedEx, that orientation and that training I would be able to do. Community education, like things at a park district, like if you sign up for like continuing education classes, recreational and educational programs. I can do like sports for kids at park districts, entertainment and social events, but not live professional stage performances. So if Drake was having a concert, I could not interpret that concert, okay? I could do, oh no, I could do that. That was the red license. So so when I graduated, I got what's called a provisional license. So provisional license is typically something that you take when you're paired with a licensed interpreter. Some of those things you can do by yourself depending on what it is. I did very little of that after I graduated. So a yellow license is law enforcement education. So if somebody's training to be a police officer or work in that field, community health education, post-secondary, which is college classes, educational conferences, workshops, training, professional development, employment maintenance, like staff meetings and training, government services, that is very vague, correctional education, medical, which is just nursing and personal care, which is like nursing homes. So if somebody was in a nursing home and they needed an interpreter and the nurse needed to come talk to them, the person with the yellow license could interpret that. Routine, non-clinical, 12-step programs like AA meetings, group homes, day programs, video relay service, which is VRS, which is on computer, and all settings appropriate to a provisional license. So all those things I said first, I would be able to do that. So the medical is very limited, like you have to go through all of these, and you can't just say, oh, I want to test for this license. You have to start here. You have to start here, and then you can take that. And I think you have to wait. I feel like right now is 6 months you have to wait to take this, but I think they're increasing that time. So the green license is the next one, and I can do, let's see. Green license says professional stage performances live. So if there's a Drake concert, Adele, Taylor Swift, that person can do that. And I think the yellow license, it is not listed there. So I'm not even going to say they can do that there. Medical, routine clinical appointments, emergency room, OB, gynae, life-threatening, mental health and psychiatry, employment, interviews, hiring, firing, performance evaluations, and discipline. So like at my co-op, we have a couple deaf teachers, and so if they were being brought in for disciplinary reasons, our co-op is really good. They would get an outside interpreter to come and do that from an agency. They wouldn't even use our in-house interpreters for something like that. Even though we are bound by confidentiality, it would just make things less awkward for that person. So for discipline and things like that, a yellow license cannot do that. They can do meetings, but not something if it's like disciplinary, like somebody's getting written up or getting fired or let go or whatever. Also, a green license can do government and government services, which is administrative proceedings and hearings, social services, DCFS, Social Security, financial assistance, VR counseling, financial management, legal, but legal is limited to criminal misdemeanor, civil, which is minor, correctional, like in a corrections facility, like a state prison, attorney-client meetings. And then also they can do everything appropriate for provisional and intermediate, which is that red and yellow license. But master level, now they can do all of those things, but Only then can you do legal and trials, criminal, felony, civil, major, juvenile and family court, law enforcement, and law enforcement. So all those other things. But medical, I wouldn't even be able to do until I got a green license. I don't even have this yellow license yet, and things like that. And not only can you and the thing about it is because I can't do any of those things right now, it's very difficult to even practice for that. Like, how do you even get the practice for it so that you can be in those situations? By the time you get up to master level, people ain't even trying to test for that. They're like, I don't want to do court, I don't want to do any of that, because you can be deposed, right? Because as the interpreter, you're the only person in the room that know what both parties are saying. And so if there's something that you misconstrue, that can change the course of the trial, right? And so a lot of people don't even want to get into that, because you can be deposed, you can lose your interpreter licensure and things like that. So a lot of people don't even want to get into that. I do want to get this first one because I really would like to do college class interpreting. That's really the only thing I feel like, only reason I want to get it. I'm not trying to be in the emergency room. Because it's very, if something is wrong, because you are the only person, you're like the bilingual person in the room, right? You're the only one that can hear the English and can understand what the deaf person is saying. And so it's a lot of pressure, and a lot of it does fall on you. And what's good is that once I do get this license and I get set up with an agency, I can say, hey, can I be teamed with somebody that is a higher level than me, so that I can learn from them while I'm on the job? Can I hear it and put out what's being said? Sure. But does it make sense? Just because I'm doing all this doesn't mean it makes sense to them. You understand what I'm saying? And in some cases, especially in law enforcement, anything police related, when they read them those Miranda rights, I don't, look, nope, because when they do that, you're being recorded too. So for example, if somebody, if I have my yellow license and I'm a on-call interpreter or whatever, and somebody gets arrested and they read them their Miranda rights. And then, at the end, the police say, are you willing to answer questions anyway? Because you have to interpret in the affect that they are doing it, right? That they're asking the question. You embody the person that's talking. So you know how police can be. They can read you your Miranda rights and be like, but do you still want to answer questions? That's how I would have to interpret it. So if I go, I can get in trouble for that, right? Because at that point, I feel like the deaf person would need an advocate, I don't know what they call it. It's some type of advocate. It's an advocate they can have, and even this person can't even advise. We can't advise as the interpreter. We are only there to facilitate communication. So no matter how, if I'm interpreting something and they start saying racist stuff, I just have to keep interpreting, and I have to do it in the vein that they are saying it. It's not, I don't get to I can't intrude with my own thoughts or my own feelings about a thing. You understand what I'm saying? And so a lot of these things, it's very serious. And so what's interesting to me is that there are states that don't have licensure laws. That means there's no governing body, right? We have a governing body here in Illinois. It's the Illinois Deaf and Hard of Hearing Commission. That's what we have here in Illinois, and that is the governing body. So they are the ones who host the tests. They administer the tests, rather. They give you licensure. They can also reprimand you if there's issues and things like that. So if deaf people have and they're the ones that kind of help set the laws in place, right? And I feel like Illinois, they are so tight. Their laws are super tight for the deaf. And if you talk to deaf people here in Illinois, they know their rights. They know their rights. But when you go to other states, because there's no governing body, if an interpreter shows up that's trash, what can they do about it? They can't do anything about it. They can't do anything about it. And that's unfortunate. You know, so I am grateful that Illinois does have a governing body, that we do have rules and laws to protect the interpreters as well as the deaf individuals. But it's tight, boy. It's tight. It's like in Illinois, like this. In Illinois, if you get on the bus with a deaf person, get off the bus. Don't even talk to them. No, I'm just kidding. But it feels like that. It feels, especially once you are an interpreter. Like once you've gone through an interpreter training program, like we learned all these rules. Like if you don't know what you're doing, shut it down, because you can you can make it bad for them if you don't fully understand what you're doing, you know? So to answer that question, no, I cannot do medical. I can only work in K-12 settings at this point. And I can do church. I can do church because church and state is separate. So I can work in a church. I can, like if at my church, if deaf individuals showed up, I could certainly interpret that. I did vacation Bible school for a little girl right before... Oh no, the first week of summer school, the evening, there was vacation Bible school, so I was able to do that. And so, but it's very limited what you can do. Don't, So like even for K-12 settings, like if, let's say for instance, after school, well, I'll use this example. I have a student in band. Well, if I have a student, let me just put it like this. If I have a student participating in an extracurricular activity, a deaf student, and their parents are deaf and are coming to watch them perform, you have to hire a second interpreter to interpret for the parents. Yes. They have to have an interpreter that has that yellow license. That is best practice. Now, the parents can say, you know what, I don't mind using one of your staff interpreters. They will accept that, fine. But in the event that I'm interpreting for a student, I am not the parent's interpreter. I am not the interpreter. If somebody's talking, I am interpreting for the student only. If there's things that's going on behind me that's being addressed to the parents, technically they should have a second interpreter there for them. So there are lots of rules and laws. People are like, why don't you, interpret online? Like even for our graduation, I was going to interpret the graduation ceremony, but because it's being streamed live, it has to be this interpreter, at least, at minimum. And so I couldn't interpret graduation. If it was just an in-house graduation where nobody was projecting it out onto YouTube for the world to see, I would be able to do it, but because of that, I cannot do that. So that's where we are. So hopefully that's clear. There are so many things we have to do to just make sure that we're ready, that we are like qualified to do the jobs that we pick up. Even at work, where I work at the high school, there are some classes I don't feel comfortable interpreting because of the content. Like I can do math, but interpreting math is two different things. So we have an interpreter. We have 3 interpreters who really enjoy math. Go for it. I don't have to interpret math. I'm okay. I'm okay with that, So anyway, that is that question. Okay, the second question I have is, how do you ration out 5 paychecks so that you don't spend more per month than the money you have? So I am going to show you that right now. So hold on, I'm going to turn you guys around. Okay, I hope you guys can see okay. I I put you on a tripod to try to make it so that I'm not moving around so much. But I just used a Google Doc. I used a Google Doc and I made a table. And so these first like categories up here are like notes for myself. So these were all like outstanding bills and expenses. And as you can see, the things that have gotten paid off, I have gone ahead and checked those boxes. And these, like, as it comes up, I try to, like, if I think of something, like this is my, like, if I think of something, I'm going to go ahead and put it somewhere so that I, you know, so it's in the back of my mind for when I'm trying to plan for something. So this was when I started using the Total Money Makeover. I made myself a note to use envelope system for groceries and personal maintenance and also gas. At the time I made this, I was using my credit card and like trying to pay it off, but then it got away from me, so I just went back to using cash. As you can see here, it says save $1,000 in the emergency fund. I was able to tick that box, cancel my streaming services. These are just notes. Additional income. These are like if I do some extracurricular work, like my boys' basketball check or whatever, like I will get that and then make notes about like what I want to do with that check, because if I don't like make notes about it, or if I don't try to think ahead of time about what I want to do, then that's when I get into like overspending. And so this is a mentoring thing. We never got paid for that, and it says I was going to allocate it towards my emergency fund, but it's been so long, my emergency fund is done, so I'll probably allocate that to something else. Summer tasks I need to do. I need to file my taxes. I'll be able to tick that box soon. I paid back taxes. That's done. Dental work I need to do. My spring activities check, I should get it this week. I said June 21st to the 24th. Hopefully it comes tomorrow. So out of that, I plan on starting a car fund, which taking $600 out of that, and that's going to include my maintenance and a new car fund. So I'm going to start doing my my oil changes and things out of that. I'm still going to keep my gas separate for now. And also, when I went to get my oil changed last week, on Wednesday, I think on Wednesday, he was telling me, like, because I'm over 100,000 miles now, I got to get my spark plugs changed. And he said that'll be about $400. Spark plugs and something else he said, and that'll be about $400. So I'm like, okay. And so then my summer school earnings, I'm going to put another $600 towards a car fund so that I can have like $1,200 there for any repairs or whatever. Because I really don't want to use my emergency fund. I would rather it just be separate, because I don't want to stop paying down debt and replenish my emergency fund. I know that's not what Dave Ramsey said. And if I feel like I need to change it, I'll change it. I could put that $1,200 towards paying my car off. But because my car has so many miles on it, I can't be naive as to think that I won't need any repairs or I won't need to do anything, you know? So I really don't want to, you know, back myself in a corner and not have anything extra, because I know that, you know, things happen. And so dental work, again, is here. It's just, it was a summer task, so now I'm trying to plan where I can do it. And then my extracurricular activities from band, that's like the thing I have right now. Like, that's what I have now. And that money, I was going to just go ahead and put it in the car fund. So that's like my over and above whatever my regular paycheck would be. And so then this is like, so this is when I really started getting heavy on the Dave Ramsey Total Money Makeover. So I made this budget, and I remember just doing 2 months at a time, just making sure 2 months at a time, because I think the first thing to do was to catch up on all my things. So like to catch up on everything, to make sure everything current, like my car note was current, car insurance is current, different things like that. We ate at school, the staff cafeteria, paid that off, like things like that. So so just a couple months at a time, making sure like I can account for, like, Mother's Day was in there, my brother's birthday is coming up, my aunt's birthday, and things like that. I had a lunch with friends, things like that. And so this is just how I do it. So every paycheck, I know what's coming out, and I always like to put the date on there. So like, what's something that comes out every month? So like Planet Fitness, that's not a good one. That's like an annual fee. So Capital One was always coming out on the, or it was due on the 11th. So I always like to put that down so that I knew to make sure that I'm not paying it after the due date. So like this was due on the 2nd. So for my May 31st check, I made sure that came out because it's due on the 2nd. Planet Fitness is due on the 17th every month. So I'm paying it on the 15th just to make sure that I'm ahead of that. My car note, on the other hand, is due on the 11th. And so I did ask them to change my due date because they don't add a late fee for a couple days late. They don't add a late fee unless you're 10 days past due. But what's happening is if it's due on the 11th and I'm paying it on the 15th, there is interest that's still accruing. So I did call them and ask them to change my due date, and they agreed. And so that shouldn't be happening anymore because I don't want to pay any more than I have to. And so that interest won't be accruing anymore. And so for the person that asked me about how do I make sure that I'm rationing my money so that I'm not paying, I think I read you guys that question. Let me read it real fast. I think I still have it pulled up under my notes. Yes. It says, how do you ration out the 5 paychecks so that you do not spend more per month than the money you have? And so that is where this comes in. So as you can see, my normal paychecks, like my regular budget was in black. So for these 5 paychecks, I put it in blue so that I knew that these 5 paychecks were paychecks that I was going to get all at once, right? And I wanted to differentiate it from my regular paychecks, right? And so what I did was the things that I could pay off early, I put those in blue. Everything I can pay ahead of time, everything I could take out ahead of time, I put it in blue. Now, I did cross off personal maintenance, but I didn't take it out yet. So I probably shouldn't. I should undo those. I only took this one out. Yep, I only took groceries and that one out. So I should undo personal maintenance because I don't have that on my person. So once I cross it off, that means it's done. Ooh, maybe that's why I have extra money left, because I had those crossed off. But still, that's still only $120. It's not $600. Anyhow, see, this is why I'm not going to do nothing with that money. So today I'm going to go ahead and take out 60. Wait a minute. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take out $60, and I'm going to go ahead and take out grocery and gas. Yep, that's what I'm going to do today. And so everything that's crossed off are things that I paid ahead of time. So I paid my tithe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I paid off my credit card there. I got my personal maintenance out. Planet Fitness eventually was paid on the 17th. My car payment, rent, car payment, debt snowball. This is what my, it says pay off late taxes. It didn't cost $377. It was only $310. So I still have a little bit of money left from that. Car payment. What else? And then again, tithe, car insurance, rent, tithe, car payment. Like cell phone, I can't pay ahead of time. This video merger, I can't pay ahead of time. Planet Fitness, I can't pay ahead of time. I don't know if, I don't think so. I think we just pay every month, period. My brother's birthday is July 9th. So I like to put the dates in there so I know when things are coming up. But that's how I know. So the plan to not overspend or not to run out of money is that I'm not going to take it out until that day. So this is the day we would have gotten paid, June 30th. But I got the check on June 13th. So that's why that June 13th is there. So because this is June 30th, the goal is to not take the personal maintenance, groceries, and gas money out until the 30th. I'm going to take it out today just because I know I have time to do that. Because what day is the 30th? It's in 7 days. So it's not till next weekend. But I'm going to go ahead and take it out now. And then I can cross those off. So I'm not going to take these out until July 15th. I'm not going to take out personal maintenance, groceries, or gas until that day. And so I just have to discipline myself to do that, because if I took it all out now, then I would overspend, and I feel like I wouldn't make it until August 30th when we're supposed to get paid again. So up here, it says debt snowball. I don't have anything. Well, I was planning on paying this debt. So let me turn you guys back around. Sorry, I told y'all this video was going to be short, and it is not. But I had to get all this in there. So what I was going to tell you guys at the beginning that I didn't is that, like, you saw that budget line item that said debt snowball $100. So my goal was to pay Northwestern Medicine because I owed them $100. Well, when I took my patient information and logged in, they said, like, it's not in there, you know. So I am going to call them tomorrow just to make sure. But the gentleman that I was talking to at church who runs Financial Peace University, which is Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University, I asked him about that. He said, call them just to make sure. He's like, but something like that they could have charged off, because it was just a copay. It wasn't like the $3,000 that was like the bill. I only had to pay $100 of that. Insurance took care of the rest. So he said maybe they charged it off. So all of these, and these, mind you, the Northwestern Medicine was not a, that wasn't a, it wasn't in collections, but these other ones are in collections. Let me show you. So these debts, like the Northwestern Medicine, it was $100. Alderson Associates Fitness Premier, it was $178. Capital One I paid off. Old National Bank was like $200 and something. It wasn't in collections. I talked to them once. They never called me back again when I tried to log into that account. It said I had no balance and I didn't owe them anything. So I'm just getting rid of that. IRS got paid off. Unified CCR LLC, that was an old Victoria's Secret account from many years ago, and it was $417. I can't find that. Like, I tried to log into that one too, and it didn't seem to exist. Now, mind you, I haven't been contacted in several years for this one, for the Unifund CCR LLC, in several years. But if they send me something, I am more than willing to pay. I will put that back on there. But because, so I just removed those because I don't have them to pay. Like, I don't have the information to even be able to pay them. And so I'm just focusing on my new taxes and the car. And so those together would be $14,768.37, with $10,000 of that being my car, and then the rest I am saying that it's like taxes. So we'll see what the taxes really are. But yeah, that's where I am. So guys, I know this is extra long, and I really hope that made sense. I really hope that I was able to answer questions. I probably should have put the questions in a different video because I didn't realize that the interpreter information was going to take so long. But hopefully you're able to get through this video even if you watch it in segments. I'm okay with that. If this information helps somebody who's going through the same thing, who's trying to get out of debt on a low income, it can be done, apparently. Apparently it can be done. Like, I didn't see it being done. I wasn't able to see myself being able to do this. I wasn't able to see myself out of debt. But now I feel like I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I really feel like I can be completely debt-free by next year at this time, by next summer. I feel like the car is the biggest thing, and barring any major repairs, or like if something happens where it can't be repaired, obviously I would have to get a car. But the goal is to keep that car as long as possible, and in the meantime be saving towards a new car. Like, I can't be naive and think that I don't need to be able to do that, because I have to have a car because I live an hour from where I work, so it's not like I can just ask my brother to like drop me off and pick me up and things like that. So I do have to be kind of self-reliant when it comes to transportation. And so I mean, I can throw that $1,200. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna throw that $1,200, that $600 and $600. I'm gonna throw it into the emergency fund that it's there. Like I'm not gonna, I guess I'm not gonna open up a separate account or whatever. I'm just gonna throw it in there. But I don't know. I know the goal is to pay off the debt as quickly as possible, but I also don't want to be in a bind over the car. I just don't want to set myself up for that. And I think if I can just stay disciplined and just keep going, I think I should be able to really work it out for myself. So will it take a little bit longer to pay off the car because I'm taking money and putting it, but see, I'm not taking money from my paycheck and doing that. I'm just taking money, like the extra money right now. Right now, I'm just taking the extra money that I'm making and putting it towards that. So I feel like that's helpful. Like it's not like, I guess, a normal salary position, because I am in the position to be able to make money that's over and above my paycheck. And so hopefully, I don't know, tell me what you guys think. You guys always have like good advice, or at least good perspectives on things. So I do appreciate your perspectives on things. Yeah, I do appreciate that. I do feel like I need to, like, you know, talk it through and stuff like that. So I do appreciate that. But thank you guys if you've gotten to the end of this video, no matter how many days it took you to get there. I do appreciate you all, and just let me know if you have any questions. And hopefully you guys enjoy the vlog that goes up on Wednesday, and I will see you guys next week.